Hey, today we're going to be doing a 1 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour building challenge. So, the first one we're going to be doing is obviously the 1 minute build. I'll have exactly 1 minute to pick my blocks and build a house, which is the category that we're going to be doing today. After that minute is over, I will no longer be allowed to build, break, or change anything. The house that I have built is basically what I will have at the end. And then after we do the 1 minute build, we'll move on to 10 minute, and then the 1 hour will be last. I have a lot of work to do to be as good of a builder as I am striving for, but I figured I could do videos like this as a way of getting better. That being said, I don't think this 1 minute build is going to be very indicative of me getting any better at building. I don't think this first one is going to go very well, but we'll see. I'm going to pull up a timer. There, I have a timer in the top left. As soon as that hits a minute, once I start building, that's it, the build is done. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on this 1 minute build. I cannot get my materials for building until the timer starts, and I'm going to go ahead and start that timer now. Alright, so we're going to do a bit of an oak building here, so I'm going to do that, maybe get some fences for some windows, we'll do a crafting table, we'll do, let's see, a chest, and maybe a furnace, just so it's kind of like a little starting house. And then I want to do spruce as the ceiling and a spruce door, so we're going to do this quick. Alright, and then I kind of want the ceiling to be at a bit of an angle maybe, so we'll do it like that. Maybe a bit of a shed type building. Whoa. And time. Alright, well, it's safe to say that this is, well, I wouldn't really call it much of a house. Although, there's something to be said about the fact that mobs can't get inside. If you were to build this in survival, you would at least be safe. There's no bed. And the grass is in the house. The floor is grass. So, yeah. 1 minute goes by very quickly. Let's go ahead and just move on to the 10 minute build. Alright, I am here set up for the 10 minute build already, and I'm a bit excited for this one because 10 minutes is quite a bit more time than 1 minute. It is actually 10 times the amount of time to be exact. But yeah, I think this one's going to go a lot better. We'll actually have time to finish the walls and maybe do the flooring. But once again, I can't get my resources or materials until I have started the timer. The timer's in the top left, and I will go ahead and get started. Alright, so for this one I kind of already have a plan. I think I want to do a bit of a, maybe more of proper house, obviously. But I'm thinking more like maybe it has a garden outside, so I have 10 minutes to do this, so I don't really have to rush. My thinking is that I do this, and then have the... So this is going to be in front of the building, and then I'm going to have these like this. Then have the front door maybe right here. Still going to be small, because I don't want to get too ambitious and then run out of time in the middle of building. But it is considerably more time, so I'll definitely have enough time, I think, to get this done. Alright, I'm kind of placing random blocks here. I'm going to go ahead and get these placed. So my thinking is have this be the top of a little garden section here. Like maybe this house has a little front yard garden, greenhouse situation. So I want to turn this into, I think Podzol probably looks a lot better for a ground for things to be growing on than regular grass. It's a bit more like it's like plant fed soil, I guess. So this can be like a plant room inside the house, maybe like a little greenhouse room. And then the front door is going to be right here, which again I'm going to do a spruce door just because I like the way it looks. I'll get to the actual house in just a second. Right now, just to make sure I have something that actually looks nice, we'll do a pot. Alright, hopefully I didn't waste too much time doing that. I'm going to do something a bit like this. Little table for that. Can I just place it? Yes. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, and then maybe a regular flower, a couple regular flowers to throw in here as well. Just for a bit of color. I want this to come out. Oh, wrong thing. I want this to come out a little bit so it's not as like uniform, make it a little messy. Maybe I'll throw in another bit like block in there. Alright, that's perfect. I think that's a good little front section for like the garden area. I know I want to do a floor, so we'll go ahead and break all this grass out. I think we'll do a stone floor. What would look good for a stone floor? Oh, you know what? Let's do a calcite floor. Make it look interesting. We're already going a bit whimsical with the small greenhouse room and garden. Okay, perfect. We can get the door placed back down. And then let's go for a... We'll make the support beams the lighter color on this, and we'll go for a dark oak plank for the wall. Really lean into the whimsical nature of this. I want mud. I really like the way mud looks around buildings. Okay, I'm kind of going pretty quick with this section of the house because I think the roof is probably going to take me the most amount of time during this. Ooh, that looks nice. I don't think I want to do a second floor. We'll do, just to add a bit more color with the wood variants here, we'll do a birch. Just the ceiling, the roof is not going to be birch. The roof will probably be a stone, but the ceiling will be birch just to make it look kind of nice. So I don't think having the stone floor makes sense. I think this should be a wooden floor. But you know what, let's go with jungle. Alright, and then same thing, we'll just throw some plants and whatnot in here, make it look nice. Farmland. And we'll do beetroot seeds because whenever you grow beetroot, it has that red in it and it makes it look kind of nice. So we'll do that here. Give that a bit of red. Throw in some mushroom blocks there just because. Put that in. We'll do a pot. Some more plants. Just throw it up around a little bit here. Alright, that's enough for this room. It's way too much time already. Alright, I need to start working on the roof just to make sure I get it done. I don't know why. This has no real use. What am I looking like? Kind of nice. Alright, we're coming in on 8 minutes here, and I am doing pretty good on the roof. I think we'll have this done in probably just the right amount of time. Alright, that looks a bit weird. Yeah, I want to bring this down. Like this, maybe. I don't know if this makes sense for this kind of building, but there's a fun building technique that I like with iron bars and candles where you put this along the top. And it makes this kind of spiky effect. By the way, if you see those special barrels pop up whenever I just searched those, it's because I am on my building mod pack, so I do have some modded items, but I'm not using them. Lantern, we need light inside. Running out of time. Just throwing the floor in here. Alright, and then with a few seconds to spare. Alright, awesome. Look at this. I had a few seconds to spare. It doesn't look the greatest in the world, and I didn't do the roof as perfectly as I had hoped, but I think it's definitely a much bigger step up. I kind of focused a bit on making the garden look nice. Or nicer than the rest of the house, I guess. This definitely isn't perfect. This section right here with the roof actually kind of looks cool. It adds a little bit of depth to it. And the inside looks, you know, not bad overall. It definitely works as a house. And I like the way these plants look. I wish I would have done some sort of shelves and whatnot. It is a little bare. There's a good amount of storage though. Yeah, for only 10 minutes, I think this is not bad. And now that the 10-minute build is done, let's move on to the 1-hour build. Okay, for the 1 hour build, instead of me building in silence or cutting in every now and then over the hour, I wanted to go ahead and just focus on building for the hour, give myself enough time, and truly, take it in. I looked up inspiration photos, and I went into it knowing pretty much what I wanted to build, whereas with the 1 minute and 10 minute, you don't really get to plan a whole lot. I mean, it's a much shorter time frame. I did a bit of experimenting with the materials that I wanted to use, but with help from inspiration and just, overall more confidence from having the extra time, I wasn't too worried about it. I just kind of went in for it. I built a porch, which I'm actually really happy with. I think my porch looks awesome. The house ends up being layered and has a lot of depth, and I did a proper interior. Like it looks nice. I'm very happy with how this house turned out. So I'm actually going to leave you with this relatively short time lapse compilation, whatever, of me building this house in an hour, and I'll be back and show you what we have when I'm done. I do just want to hop in here really quick and point out that this challenge is quite new to me, and I am definitely still getting better at building. This house is something that I've not really, it's a style that I've not fully, like, delved into, I guess. That being said though, I am very interested in the idea of me continuing this maybe as a series and maybe doing other categories. Like today we did a house, maybe I could do like some other stuff like redstone builds or some more ambitious stuff like a 1 minute castle could be kind of silly and not great, because we saw how the 1 minute house went. But you know, it could be fun to do, and it could definitely help me, especially the 1 hour builds, just spending that time to practice and get better. Okay, so this is the finished 1 hour build. I finished with about 57 or 58 minutes on the clock and didn't really know what else to add, so I just kind of threw in this little weird wagon looking thing. It's not really much, but let's go ahead and look at the house. So this is the finished version. So I've got plants all around the windows, some shutters on the windows as well. I really like the way these lanterns look as a sort of banister. And these fence gates as a sort of support beam underneath the wood. All in all, I'm very happy with how the outside looks. I love how layered it is. This porch is really cool. I've never really made a house with a porch. And then we go inside. I actually had time to do a full interior in here, and I like the way the interior looks. Come in, sit at the table, or sorry, sit at the couch, and there's a little table in front of the couch. These little plants with the planters below them I like, and lanterns on the shelves, and we have some bookshelves here. This kitchen, I'm really happy with how this kitchen turned out. Out of all the interior parts, I spent the most time on this kitchen. Got a little bit of like an entryway here, then you know, some stoves or ovens, lots of barrels for storage space, a little plate of bread on the little island here. It's like a faux modern type thing, because it's not modern, it is still like rustic and not really medieval, but you know, it's not modern, and but I do like the way it looks with the plants and everything. You go upstairs, we have a little bit of a bedroom here, some more storage, some more of these plants. I thought this looked really cool, having like bookshelves set into the wall with support beams coming out. One tip that I can give you that I actually really enjoy when building interiors is sometimes you end up with too much space. Like, this was a giant rectangular open room, and I could, you know, close this off and make this 2 separate rooms, which would work as well, but you know, I was on a time constraint, didn't think of it until after. But even apart from walls, having things set out like this, like pulling the support beam out, even though it doesn't like match up with the support beam on the outside or above, it shrinks the room down and it makes it a lot easier to detail, because it's easier to detail smaller spaces. Come out here, this is the balcony with the little lectern banister. Then we go upstairs. This is our last floor. I use gold lichen as a sort of light, but also to reference that maybe it's a little moldy or dusty up here. And this is just kind of a storage space. So we've got like some extra wood, a bunch of barrels and chests and pots containing things. You know, just like a normal, not exactly an attic, but like a nice upstairs storage room. And then there's another banister up here, out on a little balcony. But yeah, that is the 1 hour house, and with that we are done with, oh, let me replace this really quick. Okay, and with that we are done with our 1 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour building challenge. Alright, if you made it to the end, please let me know what you think about my builds. Like I said, I'm still getting better and using this as practice, but I'm very open to constructive criticism and you letting me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching.